Hey, you clicked on my video. Appreciate it. Now be sure to like the video and subscribe to the page. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Out Up My League. I'm Nick Diaz. We have a hard time in football accepting that, maybe Brian Kelly's first season would be more of a marathon and less of a sprint. Because naturally, college football is more of a sprint than, say, any other sport. But when you have that many talented new players and talented new coaches together for the first time, it's still going to take a while. Matt McMahon's first season at LSU will be kind of like that, despite the fact that they did start 1-0 last night. But rest assured, I still think this LSU team will surprise some people in the SEC. Not going to make any grand, predictions, but they'll surprise some people. Now, I made one guarantee to people before this basketball season, and that's LSU will be better in two things from last year's basketball season: shooting and half-court offense. Shooting and half-court offense. And the reason being is simple. One, it's not that hard to be better at those things because LSU was horrible at those two things last season. Number two, the players they brought in and they brought back are good at those two things. And number three, those two things, shooting and half-court offense, are Matt McMahon's specialty. He is well regarded across the country in those areas of play, which means that despite the frustration LSU fans had last night against the Kansas City Kangaroos, this LSU team will put out a fun, exciting product of offensive basketball to watch the entire season. This I can guarantee you. And I think that this LSU team can actually replicate the win-loss record that they had last season under Will Wade. I think that that's very, very, very plausible. So, let's get into the bad before we get into the good. The bad. Well, Matt McMahon warned the media about this all of last month and this week, is that this team is still a work in progress. They have talent, but they are still a work in progress. They have very little idea who their starting lineup is probably going to be just yet. Now, I like the starting lineup that they put out there last night. Justice Hill at the point guard spot. He's the point guard for Murray State. Adam Miller at the 2, Mwani Wilkinson at the 3, the highly recruited true freshman Jalen Reed at the 4 spot, and at the 5 spot, KJ Williams, the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year from Murray State. I like that. But here is a stat for you. Despite that nice little starting lineup that I think will work the rest of the season, maybe it will, maybe it won't, LSU had 5 substitutions in the first half. 5. They had 11 players total that recorded minutes in the first half. And I watched it. And guess what? Most of them didn't really work all that great. Now, basketball is a game of rhythm, all right? People say basketball is a game of runs. Well, really, sure, fine. But what they're trying to tell you is that it's a game of rhythm. It's getting into your rhythm and getting their team out of rhythm. And LSU, who has only 2 players that have played together from last year's group because Adam Miller was hurt. One of those 2 players was hurt half of the season. Only 3 players from another school, Murray State, who have played together. And everyone else that's on the team is brand new. Never met each other before this. Brother, when it comes to rhythm, that's going to take some time. And you saw the sloppiness in that. You saw sloppy turnovers. You saw guys not reading each other's body language quite yet. You saw communication on defense at times was very sloppy, even though they picked it up later in the second half. Okay, I'll give you a story. And this story involves me sounding like a douchebag because I'm about to compare my basketball career in middle school to that of an SEC player. But here goes nothing. So 8th grade year of playing basketball. The school we played for had tryouts, and you could start trying out for the team, for the 6th grade team in 6th grade, tryouts for the 7th grade team in 7th grade, and so on into 8th grade. And so usually all the guys who tried out for those 3 years usually made the team. So you played together with those 3 guys, or those couple of guys, all those 3 years. If you made it in 6th grade and 7th grade, you probably made it in 8th grade. Now, I was one of the guys who made it all 3 years. Lucky me. Mostly because I was just tall. But that's neither here nor there. The first week of scrimmages before our 8th grade season, our starting point guard, who I'd played with the whole time, made a cut to the lane. Now, the offensive set that was in place told me to go left. Instead, I decided to go right. And what happened, our point guard makes a no-look pass to me, and I scored a layup. And one of the new guys on the team who hadn't tried out before and made the team in 8th grade, he went up to me after practice and said, dude, why did you go right? And how did you know to be ready for the ball? And I just looked at him and said, it was the way that he looked at me. I don't know. It was the way he looked at me. Been playing together for 3 years. I just knew that's what he wanted, and he knew that I knew that he knew that I knew that's what he wanted. All right. Even though it was the exact opposite of what the offensive set called for me to do, I just kind of knew. That's basketball. That's rhythm. And you saw that lack of rhythm mostly on defense. A lot in the fast breaks and a little bit in half court, just a little bit. Now, there is no other way to fix that except time. Time will fix that. And that's the biggest problem I saw last night with LSU overall. Now, here's the good news. The times that they did have their rhythm looked amazing. LSU had spurts and little flashes of amazing looking runs where you saw a damn good NCAA tournament caliber basketball team with a lot of talent and potential. So what I'm about to say next is going to upset some people. Okay, this is not all of a sudden let's shit on Will Wade type episode I'm doing. I'm not doing that. But I saw multiple offensive possessions in the half court where it was the best ball movement, the crispest ball movement that I've seen from an LSU men's basketball team in over 5 seasons. I'm even going back to Johnny Jones. All right, when they get into offensive sets, this team can be a thing of beauty. Make the shot or miss the shot. It looks the way it's supposed to be. That's what basketball is supposed to look like. And that's what we all killed Will Wade for. I was one of them. So this is not hindsight's 2020, let's shit on Will Wade because he's not our coach anymore. No, I shit on him the entire time he was here for that. But I will also tell you that I love the depth on this team. This team has multiple guys with size. They can go big, they can go small. They have guys who are defensive specialists that can also, handle a little bit. Almost everyone actually has some handles and offensive moves. And honestly, probably the 2 most impressive plays of the night came from bench players. 2 backup point guards, Trey Hannibal, who's from Murray State as well, and backup point guard Justice Williams, who was on the team last year. I didn't know it's not going to, be what you want to hear with, well, Nick, look, they should have blown them out. If they look so great, they should have, blown them out more. Okay, but think of it this way. The Florida State game in football, it was a shit show, right? So was probably the first half of the Mississippi State game. That was a shit show as well for football. However, if you watch closely and go back and watch this, LSU had great spurts of play against Florida State. LSU had a great second half against Mississippi State. They show these flashes of potential like, okay, all right, that looks pretty damn good. They just hadn't put it all together yet. Now, I'm not saying that this basketball team is going to turn it around and contend for the SEC. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I saw flashes of a damn good tournament basketball team. And this team will be fun to watch going forward. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Or follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok in the description link below.